I will always repurchase this makeup. I'm a serious relationship kind of girl. When I get in a serious relationship and love a product, I will love and be committed to that product. And that is what this video is about. Every single step. Makeup I will always recommend. I will always repurchase. Credo's having their 20% off like friends and family sale. I always like to let you guys know about their sale because a very big portion of my Holy Grail makeup is sold there. Whether or not you're watching this during the sale or after, this is the makeup. 9 times out of 10, if my friend is asking for a recommendation, this is probably a product that I immediately come out with and recommend. I was doing some eye masks for this video, and I realized that I had a third one, so I just stuck it on my forehead. By the way, these are the ones from Abib. I'll link them, but they are my favorite affordable eye mask because, you know, a lot of eye masks can be kind of pricey. These are the ones that I go to, and I know this sounds weird, but I don't feel bad about using them up, you know what I mean? So my skin is really in need of some TLC right now. So when I think TLC, you know, my brain immediately thinks milky toner. You could absolutely use something like the Ilia Face Base Milk. I love this one. It is on sale at Credo, but you guys already know that, like, the Horror Wonder. No, it's not like on sale right now, but it's still cheaper than the Ilia, and it's just as good. So I'm using a pretty decent layer here. My skin just really, it needs it. You know that day before you get sick, you can just tell something's off? I feel like I'm about to get sick. And I always notice my skin starts like kind of signaling that I'm getting sick to me. But look at that immediately, just the immediate hydration. I like just truly will never be without it. I hope you guys can kind of see like the immediate hydration, the way it calms down my skin, because that's what I love so much about it without having to layer on really, really rich products every day. So that is why I have always gone back to it, and I've repurchased multiples. Actually, I was trying to pull this one out, which is my full one, and I kept just finding my empties, which I don't even know why I keep the empties anymore. So obviously, I talk about a lot of Holy Grail products kind of over and over. I get a little bit of crap about it on my channel, but it is one of those things that, like, I just don't know if that's ever gonna change about me, because I am one of those people that when I find like a Holy Grail product, I'm gonna keep using it and repurchasing it over and over and over, really until I get tired of it, which turns out that I don't really get tired of very good, consistent makeup. I am a little bit of a Lindsay McGuire outfit repeater, if you will, which, by the way, this is the Misha Perfect Cover BB Cream. This is the 13 shade. The shade 13 is slightly too light for me, but my skin just loves it. And oh my gosh, if I really am getting sick the way that I think I probably am, this is the kind of makeup that I would still like want to put on. That's how much I love it. Like you kind of have to force me to put on makeup if I'm like not feeling 100%. But this is just such a pleasure because of the instant blur, the radiance, the coverage. You know, think of this as a very similar product to like the It Cosmetics CC cream. Very similar vibe. It's more affordable with less shades, so there's definitely a drawback to it. I wanted to mention it again just because it is one of those products that is so unbelievably affordable, and I've gone through so many of them. Like, this is probably at least the, I don't even want to say the 5th. It's probably the 6th or the 7th tube of it. Also, what I think is kind of wild about it is that it lasts so long for this kind of finish. Like, it just has really, really excellent longevity, and I think that is in and of itself kind of a feat of its own, with such a creamy, blurry, but like slightly dewy finish. That's kind of hard to, it's kind of hard to find something that's gonna last like 9 hours. Now, let's talk about concealer. For me, concealer has consistently been on my channel my category that I've had, like, probably tried the most products and hated the most items that I've tried. I've spent I don't even want to know how much I've spent on concealers over my makeup buying journey. But I have two concealers here that are the best of the best that I've ever used. Period. They are the best. So, like, this is to give you guys context. I have used way more of these. This is just what I happen to have on hand now. Every single one of these has been used and has been opened. So, like, do I have issues? I might have issues. I might have issues. But if there's one thing that I know about myself, it's that if my concealer doesn't look good, I feel like my entire makeup look is off. Especially as someone that has more sunken, dry under eyes with hollowness, I need a concealer that does not exaggerate hollowness and consistently, formula after formula after formula. Brands always tend to prioritize the coverage over the actual appearance of the formula. Meaning, like, the texture of it, how it reflects light, they don't really care about that. They're just like, if it makes your under eyes look more sunken and yet they don't have any more visible darkness, then we did our job. But it all defeats the purpose if the light is not reflecting back and making everything look almost more filled in. And both of these concealers do that. So if you have more oily skin, and I would say even using this as a foundation, a favorite way to use this, the Tower 28 Serum Swipe Concealer. So for me in the summer, I'm going to use something like this. It'll give me more longevity. You need like such a small amount. It's a very thin texture. It's more of a satin finish. And a little bit just really, really, really goes a long way. I absolutely love it. And it is my first choice to recommend, again, for people with more combination or oily skin. However, you guys know how I feel about the Kosas Revealer Concealer. This is probably like my number one holy grail of all time. Oh, by the way, the Tower 28 is like $22, which is insane. To be able to get a formula like this at like 20% off, that's like drugstore territory. For me, it's like that's a major stock up kind of moment for me. But the Kosas is like my all-time favorite because it gives me the moisture that I really enjoy with the same medium coverage that the Tower 28 has. There's also caffeine in here, which I really, really appreciate. Actually, I think the Tower 28 might have caffeine as well. But either way, I'm using the Kosas today. And I just want to give a shout out to their brighteners as well. So this is the shade Illusion. This is the same formula as the Revealer Concealer, just in color corrective shades. This is like one of the best color correctors I've ever used in my life, which is no surprise because it's, you know, the same formula that I always go for. I always go back to 1.5C. I do have the shade 0.7 though. And this is good. It's good enough. It's just slightly lighter than 1.5C. I like to kind of mix the color corrector into the concealer so I'm getting one really beautiful layer. Look at that. Just, it never fails to impress me, but I've been talking about this product for like 5 years. It's just like, for years, I've loved this makeup for this specific reason. The way it sits on the skin, it just looks beautiful in person. Yes, it looks nice on camera, but I always prioritize what looks beautiful and lifelike and pretty and in person. And just consistently, this really, really helps with my hereditary dark circles. So because I always have so many of these concealers on hand, I never buy them full price. There are some times when I'm like, it's an off time, like I didn't order them at the right time, but I almost always have restocks. I always have one on hand. I know I'm going to use it. Like, the idea of not having one on hand gives me the heebie-jeebies, which I'm not even exaggerating. I want to talk quickly about bronzer. I've been scouring to see if this bronzer has been on sale anywhere because, again, like I like to, when I come on here with my Holy Grail videos with like absolutely pretty much nothing new. Unfortunately, I couldn't find one for this product, so I do apologize, but it will be on sale during this Sephora savings event, so I'm keeping that in mind. But it is the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Shaping Stick. I'm just gonna tell you guys right now, literally every single bronzer I never apply bronzer like this, so this is insane. Every single one of my bronzers could go away. I mean like powder or cream. And if I had this, I would be fine with it. That is how much I depend on this formula, how much I love it. It is perfection. It is such a beautiful, consistent blend. By the way, this is the shade Light Medium. It never takes off the makeup that you have under it, and it just blended out like complete perfection. This is, did I just say, is this Light Medium? Yeah, so, but here's the thing about this bronzer. I used it on my sister on her wedding day. Of course, it blends beautifully, and that's something that's really important. However, it lasts. And so many cream bronzers just like wipe away when you put on other makeup. They, by the end of the day, if you are someone like me and you're sitting on the couch and you're like smashing your hand into your face or laying on a bunch of pillows, like, you know, it's gonna want to remove makeup. This is one of those products that just, you can trust it to have longevity. For me personally, like obviously the shade 13 from the Misha Perfect Cover BB Cream is a little light for me, so using a shade like this kind of, I think, evens everything out a little bit better. Again, it's one of those products that if everything else went away, all the bronzers, and I had this, I would still be happy. However, when I think about me, when I think about products that I love and will always, always, always recommend, I always think of red blush. RMS is available at Credo and is on sale, and Beloved is just like, it's stunning. So Rosemary Swift, the founder of RMS, always talks about how this was the makeup trick to the Victoria's Secret like iconic makeup look. The kind of her like signature for them was always using this blush because it doesn't turn too pink, actually a little stiffer, and it has like pretty intense pigmentation without it like being too difficult to blend out. But by the way, I will say, so this is Merit Rouge right there, and that's Beloved. You can see there's just a little bit more orange maybe. I mean, it's not orange, but a touch more orange to the RMS versus the Merit. But the Merit, I use them almost interchangeably. The Merit's more dewy and has more slip to it. But I would say, like, if you are interested in a red blush, these are the ones that I like consistently recommend, like over and over and over. I would say just go with the color that speaks to you more or whichever one's on sale, because I think both are flattering. And again, I kind of always take it over the bridge of the nose and kind of sweep it over. I just love the kind of like youthful cheek look that it gives. But we are not done yet. I want to talk about the eyes. I was really torn on this one because one is like a one and done that I have loved for years, have talked about for years. The other one is more of a recent favorite within the last like year and a half that like, you know, I don't want to be without it either. So I'm going to mention both. The first is the Surratt Beyond Beige palette. I don't know what else to say about it other than like consistently. I've never put this on and had a bad makeup day. The texture is so smoothing and forgiving on the eyes. It blends so beautifully, but can also build up. So not only is the formula in and of itself kind of foolproof, but it's a very forgiving texture on the eyes, especially if you deal with dry eyes or dry skin on the eyes. It's just a really lovely softening formula. I think it's just gonna be, you know, it's gonna be a favorite of mine until they stop making it. Like, I will always go back to it. It has everything I need. Any of these three shades right here could very easily be a perfect one and done with varying intensities, but when you put all of them together, again, consistently some of my favorite looks I've ever done. However, I'm also gonna say that the Rituel de Fille Ashen Ember Eye Soot, specifically in the shade Half Light. Me and Half Light, I've loved Half Light for years. I still think it's the perfect one and done, throw it on the eyes shadow. And formula wise, it actually is pretty similar to the Surratt in that there's like this smoothing aspect to it. The way it kind of turns to this creamy kind of look on the eyes. It was just the first powder eyeshadow. Like, I mean, it's a pigment mixed with an oil, but it's still basically a powder. It was the first formula of this kind that I could actually use on my eyes and enjoy, even if my skin was feeling super dry. The look of them, this color, it's like the most sexy, undone, slightly taupey, slightly mauvey. Like, I just don't even know how to perfectly describe the color. Like, it looks like it really just looks like nothing. Like, you can't understand the magic until you put it on. It's just perfect. It really is perfect. If you want that, like, I'm not trying, but I still have this really sexy, slightly smoky kind of eye look going, that is what I always go to this shadow to do for me. It's so easy. It literally looks like that took so much longer than it actually did. I'm gonna use a bit of Kosas Air Brow. I really, really like this one too. I'm not gonna call it a holy grail though, but it is just like, it's just a really fantastic brow gel. And yeah, I have been really pushing those front hairs forward. And as usual, I don't know if it's just like my videos are being pushed out to certain people that have never seen my content, or if people are just feeling a certain way about eyebrows right now. I think it actually might be a mixture of both, because I've seen thin brows start to trend a lot more lately, but people as of late are really getting on me about them, which, you know, is what it is. I've had a pretty good ride with them of people being into them for a while, so like naturally I knew the pendulum was going to swing the other way. By the way, I'm not sure if Deadcool is still at Credo, but if it is, just know that I have both the travel size and the full size of the new mochi milk that released this year, and you will never not hear me talk about it. Like, as far as gourmands go, it's kind of perfect if you are into like kind of like a strawberry, mochi, creamy, milky kind of scent. If that sounds like something you would love, like, I can't even describe to you how good this is. It's fantastic. And I've loved extra milk. I've loved taunt, but like now mochi milk is like my new favorite. I think I've actually tried every single Deadcool fragrance, and the fact that I have like 3 holy grails from one brand kind of says a lot, especially with someone that is as picky with fragrances as I am. Deadcool and they just know how to make a fragrance that I will love. So I'm gonna go ahead and start completing things as far as the eyes go. I'm gonna use my Shiseido eyelash curler. Now, basically for the past, I'm gonna say like 6 months, I have been obsessed with the Sochi Waterproof Precision Eyeliner, and I still think if you want a drier eyeliner, this is still like my holy grail as far as that kind of texture. But I also like something creamier sometimes. I just think that the Kosas Soul Gazer, if I'm gonna tightline, I want something kind of creamy and that's not gonna like make my eyes feel like I'm tugging at them. So for those reasons, I've really been enjoying this one. Sometimes I'll do like a small little wing thing. Like sometimes I'll take a little brush and pop the wing out, but sometimes it's just enough for me to do a tight line for my looks like this. But again, like that just, it's so easy. You know, eyeliner is like one of those steps I think no one is like, yay, I can't wait to do my eyeliner, I feel like. But when you have a formula that's just like so easy and creamy and blendable and then actually stays put, kind of just makes the whole process easier for everyone. And for mascara, as you guys can see, it is Tower 28 Make Waves. This is just that mascara that gives me the framing to my eyes, the insane curl and the lift without it being like Clump City, the way it kind of pushes the lashes up and then the lashes stay there. My lashes don't like to hold the curl that I give them for whatever reason. And this mascara consistently really helps that curl last. So, so pretty. It's almost like a false lash kind of effect. If I did want to do mascara on the bottom lashes, it would even be like more Boom, but I think I'm gonna kind of save my eyes the trouble of that right now just because, again, I feel like I'm getting sick. So now I feel like we're like almost there, which, by the way, I don't know if Credo will have this set. I hope they do, but right now for 29 bucks, you can get both the black and the brown. And I just felt like you guys needed to know about this because if this is 20% off, then yeah, like you might as well just get that one, this one, at least for me. I'm wearing the black one though right now. I love Jet though. I love the brown. I wear the brown just as often as I wear the black. It's my favorite brown mascara that I have. Literally in here, I also threw in my backup of the brown because, again, I always have a backup of it. Now for powder, we're just gonna take like a little bit, like a touch of powder through the T-zone. These are the two favorites. Like, I will always go back to these. Either the Kosas Cloud Set, but I don't know if you guys can hear this. Mine broke, so, oh god, now it's getting everywhere. So I haven't been reaching for it. I need to figure out a solution to that one. My other favorite is the RMS, and this is the Hydra Powder. I have mine in the shade Light, and it's just fantastic. It really, really was not, like, when I tried it, I was like, oh, okay, RMS has a powder. We'll give it a go. Because I just, again, I consistently hate powder. So, but the fact that this sets everything in place while still looking like skin, that's what I need. That's what I need out of my powder. So I'll set one side of the face just, again, in like more of the T-zone area so that you guys can get a look at how it's gonna. Also, I always take it kind of up on the jaw. So this is it without. Honestly, love. Like, I still love this look. This is it with. You see just that creaminess, the way it sets everything. Everything's just gonna kind of lock in and last a little bit longer. RMS really did a fantastic, fantastic job with this one. See the difference? I like to keep that glow right there, but yeah, it just adds this like kind of level of polish to a makeup look that is nice. Sometimes if I want to lock everything in, I will. I don't necessarily need to powder every day, but I have been noticing as my skin has been changing and I'm getting older, like we all are, I've actually been liking powder a little bit more, kind of to just melt everything together. And when you're using a really good formula, you can really play with light using powder and really create a beautiful effect and a very smooth effect. Typically I would go in with like a setting mist. If I'm prepping my skin, I'm probably going to use like Tower 28 SOS mist. Reason being is that, especially if I need to like shave my face at all, this is the only, like, this is the reason I can still shave my face. I wasn't even shaving like my mustache for a period of time because I would break out no matter what I did. This was the thing that changed the game for me. This is the reason I can actually shave and not have a mustache. The SOS mist, it's a hypochlorous acid, so it kills any of like the acne causing bacteria that's just kind of like hanging out on your skin. When you are shaving your face, your skin is more susceptible to any of the bacteria that's already on your skin. So again, I'm not gonna shave if I don't have this. But it's not necessarily a setting mist. Like, it's not gonna lock in anything. It's truly like a skincare kind of product. So let's talk about the lips. And I think a lot of you already know about this lipstick. The Sochi lipstick in Speakeasy. This has been like my go-to for a long time now. It was in Best of Beauty last year. Honestly, a lot of these products were. It's the perfect intensity. You know, if you're like a lover of a sheer lipstick, the way that I am, the ceramide lip silks, they're just that like sheer lipstick, throw it on the lips kind of formula. And then sometimes I'll even do a liner just to kind of make everything a little more crisp. I don't always do this. That is Holy Grail makeup, baby. Only a video about Holy Grail makeup could have gotten me to sit down to film today, just with the way that my body is feeling. But I gotta tell you guys, thank you to every single person that watches my videos and appreciates the outfit repeating vibe of it all. Like I get it. I know that a lot of this makeup isn't new, but a lot of this makeup is, it's the repurchases. If we take a look at my big fat bill of makeup that I purchase year after year, a lot of these are featured over and over and over. And that's why I wanted to do this video. So I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know some of your like most repurchased makeup ever. I will leave down below all of the products that I talked about, as well as the ones that are on sale. Like I'm gonna try and link all of the products that I mentioned to a corresponding sale. A couple of them won't be, and I sincerely apologize about that. I'm gonna say like 90% will be. But overall, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next one.